Two nuclear powers depend on one river system. That river is beginning to fracture diplomacy. What happens when water becomes a strategic weapon? Instead of a shared lifeline, since 1960, the Indus Treaty survived wars and political hostility between India and Pakistan. Today, rising climate pressure threatens the region's fragile balance. Regional tensions continue growing. This crisis is not only about rivers. It involves food, energy, and geopolitical influence. Analysts now fear the world's first true water conflict could emerge here. Leaders are recalculating power through reservoirs and infrastructure control, behind closed diplomatic doors. Stay with us as we uncover Asia's emerging geopolitical future, driven by water security. The Indus River supports hundreds of millions today, across India and Pakistan. After partition in 1947, borders divided rivers and irrigation infrastructure across South Asia. Upstream water controls quickly affected downstream farming communities, especially inside Pakistan. Food security concerns emerged before both nations fully stabilized politically or economically. In 1960, the World Bank helped negotiate the historic treaty between both rivals. The agreement divided major rivers while preserving limited cooperation between neighboring powers. Remarkably, the treaty survived several wars between India and Pakistan. Analysts described the treaty as one of history's strongest water agreements, globally respected. Population growth steadily increased pressure on regional freshwater supplies across South Asia. Climate change accelerated Himalayan glacier instability, threatening future water availability. India expanded hydroelectric ambitions across upstream river sections, increasing regional concern. Pakistan repeatedly warned about downstream agricultural dependence and future water shortages. By the early 2020s, treaty pressures reached dangerous levels, not seen for decades. India accelerated infrastructure projects after renewed tensions in Kashmir. Security concerns intensified. Officials argued development remained consistent with treaty provisions and national priorities. Pakistan warned about severe downstream consequences for farming stability and economic security. Diplomatic negotiations increasingly stalled as mistrust deepened between both governments. International observers feared environmental stress could worsen regional instability across South Asia. Tensions escalated sharply following deadly attacks in Kashmir during 2025. India suspended participation in parts of the treaty after the security crisis. Pakistan condemned the decision as a national survival issue, linked to water security. The Indus Basin supports major wheat and rice production throughout Pakistan. Analysts warned prolonged instability could trigger economic disruptions across regional markets. The World Bank encouraged dialogue while remaining politically neutral between both governments. Security experts described water infrastructure as strategic geopolitical leverage, increasingly important today. Suddenly, a decades-old water treaty returned to global headlines. Once again, officials debated whether cooperation remained politically sustainable behind closed doors. Water monitoring systems became critical for agricultural forecasting across vulnerable regions. Both governments intensified public messaging while avoiding military escalation, publicly and diplomatically. Experts warned climate instability could permanently reduce freshwater reliability. Across the region, Himalayan glaciers feed rivers supporting nearly every major economic sector in South Asia. The crisis revealed environmental pressure shaping modern geopolitical competition. More than ever before, major Pakistani cities remain dependent on uninterrupted river access for daily survival. India emphasized sovereign rights over infrastructure development within treaty boundaries. Analysts feared prolonged tensions could destabilize regional economic integration. Across South Asia, food security concerns intensified under unpredictable weather patterns, affecting agricultural planning. Water reservoirs gained strategic importance comparable to oil infrastructure in geopolitical planning. Future conflicts may emerge from environmental scarcity rather than territory alone. Millions now connect river stability with economic certainty and personal survival. Global strategists increasingly study water security alongside military power and economic influence. Similar freshwater tensions are emerging worldwide, including Africa and the Middle East. The Indus crisis may become a global blueprint for climate-driven disputes. Investors now monitor climate stability during infrastructure evaluations across vulnerable regions. Insurance markets increasingly price environmental instability into future forecasts worldwide. Food prices could eventually react to disruptions inside South Asia, affecting global markets. Governments now monitor rivers through satellites and artificial intelligence in real time. Yet, technology cannot replace political trust between rival nations, sharing fragile resources. Experts believe water diplomacy may define future global security challenges throughout this century. Others warn environmental pressures could intensify migration and instability worldwide. The Indus River symbolizes survival, cooperation, and strategic control across modern geopolitics. Diplomacy today may influence how future generations manage shared resources globally. In a warming world, power may depend on freshwater access more than oil. The Indus crisis reveals environmental pressure shaping geopolitical competition across the modern world. Diplomacy prevented water disputes from escalating for decades between neighboring rivals. Today, climate uncertainty is testing that fragile balance again. Across South Asia, millions now depend on whether cooperation survives geopolitical pressure in the coming years. Analysts expect future negotiations to prioritize climate adaptation and shared infrastructure monitoring. India will likely continue expanding upstream hydroelectric infrastructure projects, strategically important developments. Pakistan may intensify international diplomatic efforts over water security and agricultural stability. Experts warn unresolved tensions could influence global water governance for decades ahead. What will define future conflicts? Military power, economic influence, or freshwater access? Share your perspective below. Subscribe for more geopolitical documentary investigations. Watch our next analysis exploring climate pressures reshaping global power in the 21st century.